grandfather did not like me, and his entire side of the family didn't really seem like they liked me either, and from the time I was a toddler, I was painfully aware of this. Once when I was an adult, my mother said to me, "Oh, my father just thought having you made my life a lot harder," as though that should clear things up for me. It didn't. My older sister was tan and skinny with brown hair, and she was really well behaved, and then I was this pale, chunky ginger baby who cried a lot, and I always wondered if maybe the contrast between us was just too much for them, because they adored my sister and they never liked me. So I knew they didn't like me, but it didn't stop me from trying to get them to like me. So every time they'd come to visit, I would come up with like a drastic personality shift to try to get them to like the new version of me. So I do things like talk in a British accent for 3 days, or like once I pretended to be a vegetarian for their entire visit to look socially conscious, because my grandparents were big animal lovers, but I think that one actually made them dislike me more than ever. One time I spent their entire weekend visit furiously sketching ball gowns into a notepad, so I'd look like a budding fashion designer and maybe they'd want to follow my career or something. Once I spent an entire weekend doing Sudoku puzzles, so I'd look like an intellectual, but I was actually really bad at math, so I just was writing random numbers into the little squares, but they didn't care enough to check my work, so like that one was kind of a wash. So I'm like 12 years old, my grandparents are due to arrive for a visit at any moment, and I'm about to implement my newest plan. So I'd realized that every time they visited in the past, the second they pulled in the driveway, I would be so excited I would run out and greet them immediately. But my older sister, she hung back. She let the grandparents come to her. I made myself too available, and I was thinking like maybe this has been my problem the entire time. So my new plan is that the second they arrive, I'm going to run to the basement and I'm going to wait for someone to miss me. I'm going to give them an opportunity to be like, oh my God, where's Kate? So I go to the basement and I can hear them come in and I can hear them all chatting, but like 40 minutes goes by and not a single person has implored another regarding my whereabouts. So I'm like, this might be a while. So I have a school project to do on George Bush, so I'm like, I may as well work on it now. So I fire up the family computer with a contemporary operating system, Windows 98, and I wait for it to load, and then I have to do a school project on the president, like what website should I go to? Obviously whitehouse.com. So I type in whitehouse.com, and suddenly there's just boobs everywhere. Like there's absolutely no George Bush. There's just like naked women everywhere. So like pop-ups are popping up faster than I can close them. I don't know what to do. I try to shut down the computer, but like I can't even get the pop-ups to stop long enough so I can shut the computer down. So in a moment of absolute panic, I run to the wall and I flip the breakers and I just turn off the power to the entire house. So I have a brief moment of relief when all the naked women disappear from the computer screen, but then I realize I'm at the scene of the crime and everyone's going to inevitably come downstairs to check the breaker box because the power's gone now. So I dive into a game closet and I hide there, and I hear my mother and my grandparents coming downstairs. My mother flips all the breakers back on and she's like, that's weird. And my grandfather comments on the new computer. He's a big computer guy, and I'm just hiding in the closet. And my mother says, oh, I have to go upstairs. I have to check on my vegetarian lasagna in the oven. I have to make sure the oven turns back on. So she runs back upstairs, and my grandfather groans about the vegetarian lasagna, and my grandmother's like, oh, stop. And he goes, oh God, you don't think Kate's still pretending to be a vegetarian, do you? And they both just start laughing. And that was my rock bottom moment, because I was in a closet with a board game called Don't Wake Daddy stabbing me in the kidney, and they were laughing at me. Like, my vegetarianism was